Hi all, Cynthia here, welcome. Today I'm doing a 12 by 12 layout with the leftovers of my kit from the Kitaholic Kit Club. So each month I get the main kit and I've already made 3 layouts. So this will be layout number 4 and I just have these scraps left. Didn't really have a plan. I just know I want to use up these strips here, so I'm going through and laying them down on top of each other. Knew that I want to have those darker greys and blacks towards the bottom of the layout and some of the lighter ones closer to the top. No, I have 3 photos. I can't remember whether you saw them at the beginning or not, but I have 3 photos that I know I'm going to lay across the centre, so it doesn't matter that you can't see them as such. Because it doesn't matter that there's that gap. There they are. The gap will actually be covered up and you won't see that. So I put the strips down roughly where I thought it would be, and I realised that I want to have my photos a little bit lower, so I lift them all up and move it down a little bit. And not too sure why I didn't put the orange back down next, but I didn't. I decided that I was going to move everything down. And I think the orange goes a little bit further up the page. There we go. So I have the 3 photos down. I'm now going to mount them on some white cardstock. So I've just got some white cardstock that's from my stash. And going to mat all 3 of them. Going to cut them out so they're single photos each, because I want them to be the 2 on the outside to be slightly skew width. So trim them up. How has everyone been? Has everyone been well, or managed to get a bit of scrapping happening? Project life or art journaling or whatever it is that floats your boat? So I have these 3 photos down. That's pretty much how I want them to look. Got into my stash, you saw me there. That's how I store my scrap papers. So anything that is 6 inch and under goes into those sleeves, all in as by colour. So I've put out a piece of black cardstock, and I'm just going to mount these photos onto the black cardstock, and it's going to be a solid piece behind all the photos. I think that helps them pop off the page a little bit more. So I want that one to be in the middle, to be straight, and the other 2 on either side to be a little bit tilted. Liking the way that looks, I'm just going to trim it down, and there it is. That's about as much of a plan as I have at this stage. I never plan out my pages pre-hand, so I literally do just get the paper and the pages out and start playing and see where it leads me. So I don't know where it's ever going to go. These doilies here come in the kit, so I'm thinking that I will put a cluster up there in the top left and another one down in the bottom right, which is generally how I do a lot of my clusters. I've noticed that I quite often do a diagonal from top left to bottom right. Obviously it's the way the eye reads as well, so it seems to be my go-to design. And then I go through the bits and pieces that come with the kit and start pulling some stuff out. Halfway through going through, I do fiddle around with some of it for a while, but in a moment I kind of like how that first tag that I put in was quite a light colour. So in a moment I go through and I pull out all the greys and light colours. Excuse me. And I think in the end nearly all of the embellishments that I use are from the cut apart sheet that comes in the kit. So as soon as we get the kit, I generally sit down and cut all of that apart, so it's all ready to go. And this is where I'm going through and I'm putting the pieces I think I may use into colour piles. So I have these little hexagon shapes that I put up there, and then these two arrows, one says my happy and the other one says you rock. So both of those, as I said, all that there so far is from the cut apart sheet, and it's starting to come together for me a little bit now. I'll put those two down there, which one says love and the other one says today. Just tucking the labels in. I'm going to use these three little strips here to put my journaling on. I use a Brother P-Touch label maker to print out my journaling. It's just a couple of lines that says something like Army Dog Roofie ready for action, something just simple. So these photos are of our son and our dog, and as you can see the dog is wearing a hat, an army hat, and he's sort of got a look on his face as if to say, really, must I? Why do I have to wear this? And that is what I use as my title. Must I really? So I've gone through the thickest that are in my stash, and pulled out a couple of different ones. I know I want to use two different types, and I'm definitely going to use that brown there on the left, the one that has a sort of a fake stitched edge to it, and then I pull out the other ones, the sort of a lighter grey, and do must I. Grabbing some glue to glue all these down, because as we know, chipboard thickers really don't stick that well at all, and both this lot are chipboard. Just gluing that down in spot, and I think why I'm doing that, I've turned the hot glue gun on and I cut away and I glue the whole lot down. There we go, I've got it all glued down. So I use my hot glue gun to glue down my embellishments the majority of the time. Have these two arrows, I want to add those to the layout just to add some movement to the page. I was going to put that black one down the bottom, but as the two black strips or dark grey strips of paper are down the bottom, I decided that it would look better up the top to bring that black colour up there a little bit more as well. Tucking in some of the little circles that come in the kit, see what else I can use. The kit had some wood veneer and also some, you know what those things are, what are they called? Acrylic pieces, chevrons. So I think I used both of those. But I remembered that in the thickers or in the chipboard alphas, there were these hearts that I wanted to put down. So I pulled them back out and scatter them around in 3 places, and then I go into my wood veneer and find a few little bits and pieces, a few arrows, just to be able to help give some direction to the page as well. and pull out a couple of little stars and some just little bits and pieces to add to the clusters, like rather large clusters. So, and I think that's pretty much all I do. You don't see my journaling happening on camera. I do that off camera, but you will see those in the close-ups. So keep an eye out for that. And that's pretty much all I do for this layout. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and thank you very much for staying with me this far. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up. I love it if you leave me a comment. I read all the comments and I always try to respond. That's it. I will catch you on the next one. Talk to you then. Bye.